You don't have any freedom. Free will is a concept that was made by humans out of ego, uh, the sheer desire to have control over things that happen in life. There's a term that scientists called learned helplessness. What it means is once humans or animals find out that they don't have any control over any situation, they just give up. Or they go into depression, they get very anxious. Uh, and whenever humans feel that they're not in any kind of control or things that are happening around you, even you may have noticed in your life that whenever you felt cornered or whenever you felt helpless, the first thing that comes to mind is, why me? What's going on? What's wrong? Uh, and you kind of get sad, you don't really know what to do. And I think that's one of the reasons why the whole concept of free will came. Obviously, there are other factors too, but the human ego is one of the reasons why we are so hell bent on believing that we have control over everything that we do, the things that happen in our lives, but we forget to even take into consideration things like our surroundings, our upbringing, the people that are around us right now, uh, even things like our brain chemistry, To give you an example for that, let's suppose there were four people uh, in a group. They were just sitting, talking to each other. One of them is of the age of a child. They're like a child or a teenager. Uh, the second person is an adult, mainly in their mid 20s or 30s. The third person is in their late 40s or 50s. And the last person is in their early or mid 80s, if you will. Now, they got to talk, and the child says that, yeah, you know what? I cannot wait to get back home and play with games or my toys or just have fun, chill, nothing to worry about, and I'm pretty okay. Uh, the adult says that, hey, you know what? Wait until you grow up. There are so many other things that you're missing out on right now. We got alcohol. We got, partners like a female or male, uh, and having the freedom of just spending money. You don't have to ask your parents or whatever. The third person, the one who's in their 50s, says that, yeah, no, I'm done with all of that. I've been there, done that, don't even care for it anymore. All I care for right now is just kick back, have a bottle of beer, maybe have some good food, go on a vacation, and just chill. I've done my part. I've contributed to the society, and I'm done with it. The last person, the person who's in their 80s, says that, yeah, you know what, I've done that too. Now I just am concerned about having a good bowel movement. I'm only concerned about my digestion and the ability to make from one room to the other. So four different people at four different stages of life, and all of them have different things to look forward to. They're driven by different desires, right? And I think that's to the core of everything that we humans do. People tend to think that uh, all the choices that we make, that, oh, I am so smart, I can do whatever I want. I can decide to climb Mount Everest. I can do this. I can do that. It's all on my free will. But we forget that our mind itself plays so many games. Like the kid has no other concerns because the dopamine hit that he is getting or she is getting from just playing toys cannot be comprehended by the adult. Yes, he has been through the same thing, but now that the brain chemistry has changed, I'm now exposed to sexual desires. I'm exposed to uh, alcohol, maybe other kind of smoking material, right? Any kind of drugs. So my mind is now driven towards those dopamine hits. Even social media, people like to just sit there and scroll. If we really have free will, people say that, oh, I wish I could just stop, but I have no control over it. So if that is the case, why do we think that there's free will? So I think the real argument shouldn't be that whether we have free will or not, but the will that we do have, how strong are we in that will, if that makes sense. Uh, even there are so many religious texts and other older civilizations that helps us navigate this whole conundrum that we have in life. Uh, to give you an example, Marcus Aurelius wrote in his book Meditations to always do or try and do the right thing. Uh, Always think about the bigger picture stuff. Think about what's right. Think about what's for the greater good. Think about what will improve the society. What kind of imprintment I'm leaving on the society, rather than just acting on desires. One of the desires that he touches on is a sexual desire. To counter that, he tells us that even the human body over the time will grow old, and it will. The one thing that makes men crazy, uh, tomorrow it will get old. The body will get old. You will die, and the body will perish away, and all you fought for, all you were running after, if it's perishable, what kind of pleasure it is, right? Bhagavad Gita says to perform your actions in accordance with Dharma. You can even find a very good book, this one. I highly, highly recommend that you give it a read. But even in that, it talks about performing your actions in accordance with Dharma, the things that is right, the things that we know to be right for the greater good. You know, uh, we humans believe in free will. So, to give you an analogy, I was just trying to have a conversation the other day with someone, and they said that, I have free will. That's what they said. I have free will, and I am willing to believe that. Yeah, you know what? I am the one who's making all the choices. Okay, I asked. So, in case if someone were to do something very bad to you or the people you like, right? Uh, how would you feel? The obvious answer was angry, frustrated. Why are they doing this? And I asked, how would you address it? They were like, yeah, I'll go after them. I'll try and make sure that the people or whoever's trying to hurt me is either I'm safe, I'm not in any kind of danger, or in case if it gets worse, I may have to take further actions. Okay, so I asked, okay, so what's really driving you there? So the answer was either anger or the instinct or the desire to live and survive, which is primal in every one of us. So in this one example itself, uh, it shows that we are so much driven by our desire for even living. I understand that survival is important, but every action that we do, the money that we make to fill our belly, the money that we make to have a roof on our head, all of it is just to make sure that we can survive, the desire to survive. So we are driven by that. Uh, People spend their life doing the jobs that they have no intentions of doing. People will be in relationships that they're not happy in. People will be doing things that they don't really want, but they have to because it is demanded by the circumstances. Now, if the argument were to be made that free will is indeed true and people can control, doesn't matter the circumstances, whatever they want to do, they can do. Uh, it would negate all of these things. Why are people going after the things that's not going to be helpful or won't do any good? Uh, how many times in your life were you in a situation where you wanted something so bad, but once you had it, all that magic kind of vanished, you know? Which is one of the reasons why so many of the relationships fail. So many people are like, yeah, I don't know why I got into this, right? People will run after a job, but when they find out the reality, they're like, I did not sign up for this. So if true free will existed, or if we really had free will, where we can do whatever we want, a lot of these problems won't exist. So, like I mentioned before, the question isn't if we have free will or not, but it's how strong of a will do we have. Speaking of Bhagavad Gita, the whole reason why this book, or the whole reason why Krishna had to give that knowledge was Arjun was feeling the same thing in the battleground. He felt that rather than going against war with my relatives, with my cousins, with my brothers, that's a bigger sin than anything else he could imagine. And that whole thing brought him down. Like he just could not fight. He threw his weapons. To which again, Krishna goes on about answering all the questions, and one of the questions was, uh, or one of the answers was, that do your actions with detachment from the results. Now, that one statement itself tells us to perform our duties that are in the righteousness, that are right for the greater good, for the society, for everybody around you. If there's a bully, uh, and you really cannot stand for it, the stronger will suggests that you stand up for someone else or even yourself, because that's a dharma to yourself too. That's a duty that you owe to yourself. Stronger will suggest that you try and think of outside of the box. Um, and I think that's what drives most of us. You will have scientists who will spend years of their life after a desire. Now, the desire is either finding the solution to a problem, finding a cure to a problem, and the greater the good, the greater the desire, the strength of the desire, the more stronger the will to put in the work. So instead of asking or saying that I can do whatever I want, because frankly speaking, I definitely agree that you don't really want to do everything, because if that were the case, the society as it stands right now would be in complete chaos. There are uh, barriers into the things that we can do, like the law, our morals, our values that are, again, not ours. They were instilled into us either through society, our parents, the people that we hang out with. So the values that we develop growing up, they may not be ours, but it is something that we found comfort in, you know, knowing that growing up, my parents taught me this, and it is my reality. At least act in accordance with that, what you know is to be right. Sometimes you will see something happening, maybe in your home. You see that clearly the parents that love you the most are fighting, both of them. Both of them are fighting against each other. And the stronger will suggest, or just the control of your will suggests, that you stand up for what's right. If you find any kind of abuse, stand up to that. Sure, it will be difficult. Sure, it may not end well. You may end up being in a situation where you are either confronted, you're being shouted at, but at least you will know that you stood up. Instead, years later, you will question, why did I not stand up then? And you'll end up living with regret. So thinking and dwelling in the ego that, yeah, I can do whatever I want. I'm just waiting for the perfect moment. I'm just waiting for the timing to align. But I can't do it. I'm perfect. I know what to do exactly. And I'll do it when the timing is correct. That's not free will. That's just you trying to find excuses for not confronting the fact or the possibility that maybe you are not that good. Maybe you are afraid of failing, and that's why you're procrastinating or just pushing the task later. Later, I'll do it later, right? That's why people stay in relationships where they're like, yeah, I'm clearly not happy, but they love me. But is it good for you? Right? Free will, or just the concept of free will. People tend to give others chance. That, hey, you know what? Yeah, no, they love me. They'll look out for me. Yeah, I know they get angry. They shout at me. They even beat me sometimes, but they love me. They're looking out for me. But apart from all of that fogginess in your mind, if you try and look beyond it using your will, the stronger will, then you will find that it's not the case. It's not the case, because if you love someone, you don't hit them. No matter what, that's just what I believe. You never hit someone you love. Uh, Now, there's always an internal battle amongst ourselves too, when it comes to doing the things that we want. Just as I mentioned, you might be afraid of the fear, or the person that I mentioned earlier in the conversation, where the anger. So that anger is stemming from, yeah, it's the roots of that anger are either in the instincts to survive. Something else in the past may have rubbed them off in a wrong way, that they were carrying along themselves instead of confronting it, and getting over that feeling. Uh, there are so many times where you are just having a chat with your friend, and they say something, and for no reason you absolutely lose it. You go crazy, like, how dare you say that to me? You're my friend, you're not supposed to do that. Many a times it's not because of that friend, but how they triggered that inner feeling of yours. Maybe they said something that you felt yourself insecure about, right? So in those moments, the stronger will helps you clearly think about, okay, you know what? Before I even get angry, what am I really feeling? What am I really getting angry about? Uh, and acting according to it. So the point that I'm trying to make is that you may not have free will, but we have some will. Life always presents us with choices, and we have to try and navigate life through that. And always, your future is going to be the results of the choices you make now. So there's no such thing as destiny, too, but that's a different topic for conversation. But the choices you make now decides what happens in the future. And the choices that are presented to you by life, try and think about them. Try and navigate, okay, what's right for me, what's right for the people around me, and how do I make it right by everybody? Sure, you may not be the hero of everyone's story, but if you do the right thing, ultimately, things will turn out just fine. But it always takes the stronger will to find and make that judgment. Uh, People nowadays, especially nowadays, tend to go for the easier option, because that's easy to do, because it's okay to stay behind the screen and say, yeah, yeah, you know what, that's easy. But when you really have to do it, then you really have to put in the work. Even the walk that I made in my last video, That whole thing I kept postponing because in my mind I was like, yeah, sure, it's easy. I've done it in the past and I can do it. But whenever it had to be done, I always found a way out because I thought that it's tough to do it, and the easier thing was just to postpone it. You know, uh, so try and find a good thing in your life. Try and focus. Try and use your strong will to find the answers to your questions, and don't let your emotions cloud your judgment because emotions are just that, emotions. They are feeling emotions, and feelings are something that are heavily triggered by your, first of all, your biology, the circumstances that you're in, and if you act on those feelings, which again, by the way, is rooted in the circumstances. Circumstances are temporary, meaning that feelings are also temporary because of that. So as long as you focus on the thing that needs to be done, not what you feel like doing, but that needs to be done, try and find a will to do it. I hope that helps. I'll leave description or I'll leave these books in the description. So if you are interested in getting them, uh, use the link to buy it. This one in particular from Keshav is very good because not only it has three different versions of all the chapters from Gita, but it also has you write down your thoughts after each chapter every single time. Also, this book from Marcus Aurelius is a very good read. Again, they are in the description, so if you're interested, give them a read. Uh, but for today, I leave you with the thought that you do have will. Just try and find the strength in doing the right thing. Look out for the choices that are good for you and the people around you, the loved ones especially. And yeah, and just do the things that you want. Live the best life you can because you are the one who's making things reality. Life is not happening unless you make it happen.